Good afternoon, everyone. This is a meeting of the Capital Outlay Committee on Monday, April 29th, 2024 at 3 p.m. It's a meeting with all members in person at Old Town Hall. The first thing I want to do is just call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum here. With that, we don't actually we haven't met since the last annual town meeting, so we haven't actually reorganized, but we do expect another reorganization to come in a month or so. So if everyone's all right, I don't have any problem with chairing the meeting, and then to take us through the reorganization again this June. So
Great, thank you, Mike.
with that, if we could all stand and pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Just to jump out and to really level set where we are with everything. I also want to share that Peter Roach, the chairman of FinCom, is joining with us over Zoom. Thank you, Peter. And we'll start with the sharing of kind of the updated capital planning spreadsheet that we've used the last few years. I sent it out to everyone electronically as well. As everyone knows, we started this in 2022 and 2023. We've been able to use it. I have a pretty good guide. I also have been wanting to use it to really outline and identify all of our capital funding requests, whether they're funded through a town meeting warrant article or not, especially with regards to our ARPA priorities. We rank them and actually use this ranking and scoring project to rank and evaluate how we have approached the ARPA priorities as well. Just in terms of what is in here, we've had, based on our operational budget position, in my opinion, we've had to be very, 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 we've had to use a lot of really discretion, especially this over the last year, and how vibrant, if you will, our capital plan is funded, just because of our operational budget uncertainties as well. I can tell you, planning for FY25, we're gonna have to unfortunately approach FY25 in the same amount of way. We have right now we have a free cash balance planning as of right now, planning for annual town meeting, 995,000. 89,000. Sorry. Once we back out what we're already planning on using, and proposing to use to fund one-time operational needs in the FY25 budget, that brings it down to, I think, around $710,000. And then from there, we still have just over $200,000 deficit planning for FY25 right now. And we have proposed to the selectmen and to the FinCom a host of options that we have to balance. Practically speaking, right now, the option that has the most consensus around it right now is actually using additional free cash to balance planning for FY25 as well. So that could be, for all practical purposes, that likely, based on where we are now, would be an additional $250,000. Just so we leave some room to bring us to our recap. So we have approximately $500,000. That we were just actually shy of that, to be able to have to fund capital. We have a Main Street project ongoing that we've been building up our reserves for that. We have highway department equipment needs. We have police station cruises that we've gone upwards of actually 2 years in appropriating any funding for a cruiser. So in all reality, we have a lot of things hitting ahead all at the same time.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I live on Main Street. If that comes up today, I'll have to recuse myself.
Yeah, we already ranked and scored that.
Gotcha.
But just in terms of we've been trying to fund that as we go. But while not also crowding out our ability to do other things as well. So we'll have to really strategically approach how we do this. But obviously having the prioritization of all the proposed warrant articles helps, like in terms of having a scoring rubric. We do have some very limited additional flexibility with our remaining ARPA funds. And there was one project in particular, the school phone project. We're trying to quickly explore whether we have the ability to go ARPA for that, just to free up some space. So that's something we're actively, as we close out our ARPA priorities as well, and obligate those, it's everything at once right now. So anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns on any of that? Just as we jump out with everything. Anything you want to add, Serena?
No, I think you covered everything.
Okay. Chairman Roach, anything as well?
I guess the only other thing that I'd add is from our discussions the other night that we would like to leave some of that 500 as a cushion. Right, Serena?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was 250?
At least. Yep.
Okay.
So, yes, I come being the bearer of grim news today, unfortunately. But here we are. So, if it would be, if it would be okay with the committee, we can go through these submitted warrant articles, which have already been updated into the capital spreadsheet one by one. We do have a few of our department heads here as well who can provide backup and an overview on that. If we're ready to go. Chief Nicholas, do you want to? We don't yet have one for the cameras, but I can explain that. That also intertwines with opera. So
Vehicle first, or
vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we got a quote from the Island Tech, who we typically get the cruises from. And on the sheet, I believe it was quoted for $85,000 for another vehicle, which would put us in line for another car, hopefully by next year. It takes forever to get a car. We're already behind now as it is, because the car that was totaled back on Columbus Day from the woman that hit our officer while on duty, we still have not received that car yet. So just to give you an understanding of how long it takes to get a car, it takes an extremely long time to get a car. It took a while before, but then after the pandemic and everything else, it just really set everything back, and we're still not on track. As far as when you order a car and to get it in a timely fashion. The reason being is that we have a rather older fleet. Our newest car right now is currently a 2021. It's got already 30,000 miles on it. And our oldest car has got like 178,000 miles. So that car is currently used by the SRO, which is used for the school. So it's technically not a frontline car, but it's used every day. So within trying to get a new car, I would hopefully be able to put that 574, which is the 2017, down to a detail car. We are starting to as they get over the 100,000 mark, like 576, we just replaced the water pump in that for $2,300. That's the car hope to be able to rotate down to the SRO, so it wouldn't be used as a frontline car. And same with 577, we just got that back from the highway department, the mechanic last week. That water pump went in that too. When these cars go down, they go down for several days, if not weeks, depending on how soon the town mechanic can get the parts from the Ford dealership or wherever we're getting the parts, Napa or wherever it may be. So that being said, I feel like that the fleet's really starting to have a lot more cars over the 100,000 mark, you know, than not.
Question, Chief, 581, what vehicle is that?
581 is the, I'm sorry, that's the newest car. I'm sorry, I was looking at 581 is the newest car. It's 27,000. I'm sorry, my apologies.
Nice.
That's the newest patrol car. I'm sorry.
Okay. About 2 years since we placed an order for a new vehicle.
Correct. If this gets approved, we probably won't see this car till
Next spring.
next spring at least.
Right, so if we wait until we need it to buy it,
Yeah.
then we're gonna be in a tough spot.
That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if you order a car and you get it like within,
Mm.
90 days, but it's
Right.
never the
Mhm.
case.
Right.
Anyone have any questions for the chief?
No, I mean, that at face value, that makes plenty of sense, especially when we have known unknowns like vehicle collisions that are gonna take them out of service for an extended period of time. And, we saw with I know ladder trucks and police cruisers are kind of apples and oranges, but we know that when we place these orders that we don't have any necessarily tight timeline on when we're gonna get it. So, no, and that all makes sense to me on why we want to have some regularity with our purchases to make sure that the fleet's not,
The vehicle's not being neglected by any means. I mean, they're probably going in for routine, for maintenance. Obviously, like, there's only one mechanic, so obviously you try to stay on top of, routine maintenance, and they're pretty much on par. They're constantly going down for, tires, brakes, whatever, whatever it calls for. But they are well maintained. But, when you get mileage and they're running almost 24 hours a day, I mean, and you try to break the cars up. So you try to assign a car, so it's only running 16 hours a day versus it running 24 hours a day to give it the car a break,
absolutely.
I have a question.
Chief, is the proposed car, is it SUV or a sedan?
It's an SUV, sir.
Okay.
Ford?
What's that?
Is it a Ford?
I'd say the Chevy.
A Chevy?
The Chevys we're getting faster turnaround. They're full frame versus a half a frame. The Fords only come in like a subframe. So durability wise, the Chevys are a full frame, and they're pretty much the same price because we're not painting the doors white, so it's pretty much a wash as far as cost goes. Leaving the cars black.
Chief, and just for edification, about half the fleet right now has either far eclipsed 100,000 miles or was about to.
Right.
That's pretty.
It's a lot. There's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 cars that have well over 100,000 miles.
Should we begin running through the rubric, do you think, Mr. Chairman?
I think that'd be helpful. Yeah, is it, if everyone's agreeable?
Yeah, and just as a general question, some of these questions that are on the rubric, I don't know if they necessarily capture the totality of the proposal. Like when I look at the project's expected useful life,
Yeah.
this kind of is inherently slanted against vehicles, which.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like in my view, we've been talking about updating the rubric basically since we started, but like we're always kind of running into this process. But I think as we go forward and have some downtime, I think over over the summer and fall. I think, yeah, really revisiting
Right.
this to capture.
Yeah, bring a little
Um,
qualitative element.
Exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
It's just jumping out into classification to that exact point. Yeah, like, I mean, like, it's really subjective, whether it's mandatory or it's maintenance to, oh, yeah, continuing maintaining the.
Right,
Mhm.
right,
Um,
exactly.
Just to jump out, I'll throw this out there, if we ranked A as maintenance, but then B as very high, like, I think that has an ability to capture everything we're trying to capture there.
Yeah.
So we would rank 7 and 10 if everyone's agreeable.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to run through all of them, just kind of flesh it out
Mhm.
and then do a motion at the end to formalize it?
Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah, this,
Expected useful life.
10 to 19.
cruiser, yeah, because, yeah, we have 2014s here, so.
Okay, perfect.
Affect the operating maintenance costs.
The costs, you could say that it would reduce costs.
Right.
Because we see we replaced water pumps, we
Yeah.
replaced
The
airbags,
maintenance.
right?
I'm fine with that. Is everyone agreeable?
To reduce costs?
Yeah.
Mm,
We don't have maintenance costs on the other high mileage ones. Or we can split the middle and go 7.5.
No, because we don't do that with
Other ones. Well, we haven't done that before. Yeah.
So that's fine.
10.
Okay.
Like a written report.
Mm.
Right around that 100,000, a simple water pump, their water pumps internal.
Hmm,
We have to take the top, the intake off, the top engine off, change it,
Okay.
get to the timing chain, it's all inside. So it's like a 2-week process while we're maintaining and fixing everything else.
Okay.
It's good. Thank you.
Tax base is
Unchanged?
yeah, agreed.
37.
I have 37 as well.
Chevy's not like that, right?
No,
A lot easier to,
yeah,
yeah, that's another
I believe they're.
thing I was hearing.
Can't-
Now,
Federal money, no.
No,
Yeah, the Chevy, I believe, is better than crashing.
Chevy is.
but just, yeah, like, we've always, the significant public safety concern has always been one of those subjective things. Like, I think here, even though it's public safety, it wouldn't be addressing a significant public safety concern
Mm.
right now, if everyone's agreeable.
Yep.
We have 37. Would there be a motion to complete the ranking of the cruiser with a total score of 37?
so moved.
Second.
Serena? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just actually moving on, it's not. The chief doesn't have, he didn't propose any backup for this. We do have a proposed warrant article we do have a proposed warrant article from the police department, like for a lockup and interview room surveillance, video surveillance system. We do currently have a video surveillance system that has operational challenges. And we have tried in the process of pursuing ARPA funds for that need through our ARPA county allotment. It's a very critically important piece of equipment. We're trying to work with the county to find the nexus to connect it to ARPA eligibility. So far, that's been difficult. So we might have so we will, because of the time of the essence and this of really addressing the equipment, if we should know within about a week or so, like whether the ARPA avenue is available or not. But like if we don't, it's my strong recommendation that we need to go to town meeting for this funding. Chief, do you have anything to add on that?
So we've been having issues with the cameras in the department for for months now, when it first came about, and we had this camera system serviced, was immediately brought to Mr. Mullins' attention. And we actually got a pretty fair quote on what it would cost. This company has worked with us very well. They came in a lot lower than the contracted guy that we originally had. They tried giving us a bill for something they didn't even fix. This company came in as a huge favor and said, we'll help you guys out, and gave us a price that, we thought was totally reasonable compared to other. So when I gave the quote to Mr. Mullen, I said, we need to kind of look at this rather urgently because of the fact we're not in compliance right now and with the recording data capability especially in the prisoner booking area. There's nothing right now that's being recorded. We're using body cams. You guys are taking their body cams off and setting them on the booking console facing the subject while they're getting booked, in case there's any confessions made to crime or anything else, or anything that should happen during the booking procedure, whether, someone gets, goes after an officer or whatever else, it's all being recorded. And there's that area, and then there's the external issues too, with a few heads on the cameras that are also failing. They're not up to compliance. So those cameras should be able to read a plate and produce it for us for the purpose of having the cameras, and they can't even do that. They can't even do what their jobs are. So it's
the cost of that replacement upgrade is $26,000. And I'm sorry, I failed to add it into the spreadsheet, but as I mentioned, based on what the chief mentioned, we do just have a critical need to address that billing equipment.
More urgent than waiting for time.
That's why we have approached APA because of that. But we've been going back and forth with APA for just about a month now. So it probably, at this point, the town meeting is next available.
I definitely see the need for that. I mean,
Yeah.
just in the last year, we've had a very high profile situation where a person stood accused of taking state secrets, right? And I could see definitely in a case where, if there was a confession being made, I can definitely see why capturing that's a critical importance. And it also protects our officers too. We want to do everything right. They're following the rules, and we want to be able to protect them with documented proof that everything's happening correctly. So, I definitely think that makes lots of sense.
To Bernie, your point though, we may, Chairman wrote, because we're almost at May 1st, Ms. Fairbeck's question could be a really good question too. It's as if we approach this after May 1st with some type of we don't have already a reserve fund is it basically all committed, but we could do a year in transfer, right?
Right.
In the next few weeks, really, to move it forward.
Right.
Okay. That's a good, thank you. So if we could, I try to rank it based on the information. I think definitely mandatory,
Agreed?
Yep.
very high ranking.
Agreed?
Yep.
Project expected probably 10 to 19 years,
Fair.
or lower.
Yeah, I don't think
With
cameras last 10
technology.
years.
Okay,
No, that's like 5.
5 to 9, okay. Depends how you
Is there costs right now to maintain the cameras that you have on there, or are you just kind of
so the software,
not really?
it's included in our yearly budget. I included that in the yearly budget. I think it was like $1,200 a year to maintain the software for the cameras. I put that into my budget on the worksheet.
Okay, so
2.
Yeah.
unchanged.
Yep.
Unchanged.
Yep, unchanged.
Mhm.
Availability of non-free cash is
We tried, but
ARPA or transfer.
the TBD.
whether just, this is a public safety concern.
Absolutely.
10, 32.
No,
Is there a vote? A motion to vote to rank the video surveillance system at 32?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye. Thank you, chief.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
32.
No, the cost,
Oh, yes, 26. I'm sorry.
26.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 26 and change.
Thank you.
Yeah, just over
Like
20.
26.6.
Yeah, you have the.
I don't, no, not with me.
Yeah, it was like 20.
I can follow up with everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, let's see, like, Cheryl, yours is pretty simple. Do you wanna?
Yeah, mine's simple. Right for you, Tom.
So this is the clerk's one. Like so second to last.
Okay.
I am asking for $6,300 for poll pass, which is currently a paper process when checking in for voting. So this is a much easier, simplified process. So this would be used for paperless voter check-in. This actually increases speed up to check in for 15 seconds for average person. It's improved accuracy, so it eliminates human error at check-in. This also saves us on 2 to 3 days of data entry to certify our elections. Currently, it's all paper driven. This would take minutes instead of days, save us in overhead costs. Security is a priority. The poll pad software system maintains multiple levels of security to ensure confidentiality, integrity of all their devices, communications, data, and systems. The secure and ease of use, which is fantastic. LHS is the company that we would be going through. They offer in-person hands-on training, so they would also train our election workers. I did speak with our surrounding towns, which was Rehoboth, Somerset, Taunton, Raynham, Freetown. They all use these. They, especially Rehoboth, Somerset, which I'm very close with, they swear by them. They are actually, we're like, oh, you still use paper. So I definitely, think that this is important. This actually, not only can we use this for our elections, we can use this for town meeting. We can use this for early voting. And actually it does help with our overhead for our election workers. We wouldn't need as many for the whole day. Because it'd be a lot easier for when we do our vote by mails. Any questions? It's very simple.
My question was going to be, do we have neighboring towns that have used it?
Yes.
You answered that, so.
Yep. So pretty much all of the surrounding towns to us use them.
And it does seem like it's quickly turning into, or has evolved into a best practice.
It really has 171 current towns and cities use them in Massachusetts.
And that makes plenty of sense to me. I think, first of all, I think it's a great initiative to be coming in, for a second year now and identifying opportunities to modernize practices. I think it's really great.
It really does it's definitely an upgrade that I think that we really do need. Because it really does take us days. And then if something is off, we have to recount and it's all paper.
Just as an anecdote, a few weeks ago after the presidential election, I walked into the clerk's office because I'm me and that's what I do. And they were counting one by one and I quickly got the hand. They didn't even look at me because they were just processing paper. And and that would be eliminated.
That would be eliminated. It would take minutes instead of, like I said, days. And, you do get people at the counter and things like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, because you can't really mark, you know what I mean? Like, because it's all.
I love it.
Probably getting a lot of people calling, asking for election results too, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Very, yes, we have a lot of people that end up calling within the day after. A lot of them want to know our unofficial.
Yeah.
We would actually be able to give them the next day our official numbers.
That's funny. I kept looking online. I'm like, why do other towns have this up and we don't?
Yeah.
Day after
They get to
day.
push a button instead of
Yeah.
counting them all the way in, right?
And then someone did say to me, I was talking with someone, they said we do a hand
Yeah,
count.
And especially for this election coming up, so.
Right.
and that's the thing, it would take us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, with the amount of people that we'll probably end up getting, it'll be a lot faster to get them through and it'll be accurate instead of that, you know.
Imagine.
The paper, it's so easy to make a human error.
Right,
We
so,
caught it just our last election, so.
right, so it sounds like this money for election expenses, we're kind of already spending anyway. It's just, do we spend it on the capital improvements to make it more efficient? Or do we just continually spend it every
Mhm.
year on the whole processes?
Annual budget.
1,200.
Do you have an idea of what the annual reduced costs would be?
So, it would be just an overtime cost and election workers cost. I don't have that like exact. I can definitely let you guys know what we spent. But you know, where we had 18 election workers for the full day, because you gotta think all the vote by mail that we got in, it takes a while to push those through. And then they have to check in at each precinct to do it, but with them having their own poll pad, it would take it would be a lot faster, and then I wouldn't have to have as many election workers for the entire day. I could use them for like a half of a day, and then they can process all their vote by mail quickly and accurately with just the poll pad.
Oh, sorry.
I was
Were you
gonna
gonna
say,
mention-
and then going forward, it's $1,200 to maintain.
It is
them.
$1,200 after the first year. It'll be $1,200 for the software to keep going forward with it and warranty.
And warranty.
Anyone else have any questions?
I'd be ready to jump into the rubric if you're amenable, Mr. Chairman.
Good old rubric. I think here we improve efficiencies,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
priority ranking. High,
I could,
I'd say high.
I could see high with the presidential election year coming.
Yeah.
I think that-
Agree.
High.
Me too.
is everyone fine with high?
I agree.
5 years.
Yeah, a useful life is probably no more than 10 years, right? Okay. So 2.
Yeah.
Effect on operate.
Sarah did say reducing costs.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, you know, and then you gotta think overtime, like the amount of money in overtime that you pay, because we have to get it done within a certain amount of days.
Yeah, like, and just even like the operational, even during the workday time, that actually absorbs to divert your attention from other stuff in the office.
Can't focus on anything else.
10 there,
Agreed.
and effects on town revenue, tax base. Revenue is unchanged.
Yeah. 29.
Yep.
Okay, Cheryl, like, does the Secretary of State's office, do they have any, like, are you aware of any grants that are made available for this at all, or?
Not yet.
Okay.
They are working on it.
Okay,
That is something that they have been discussing, but not yet.
okay.
Public safety, no.
No. Is it- Yeah, motion to score full beds at 29?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Shara.
Thanks.
Moving on, Tom, is it all right if we pull Dalton first, just so? Thank you.
Dalton is for people.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not the department head.
Oh, no,
It's fine.
that's-
I was the one available, so. Let's all get a copy of the quote that this.
What are we looking at?
The company, the,
Technology,
oh, no,
okay,
sorry.
that's okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is just a baseline. Stuff.
Still won't know what you're talking about, but at least.
No.
Thanks, Dalton. Oh, thanks, Dalton. Where is,
It was at the very end.
was it? Okay. Cool.
Printing two-sided was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this.
Very good. Thank you. Okay.
To the gentleman from the finance committee for not having a digital copy.
The server and live stream item that's on here? Okay, okay,
Yes.
gotcha. Thank you, Founder.
So,
Thank you.
so where would you guys like to start?
We, I think, just where we left off last year, like we knew there's a very good chance we'd be having to upgrade the server anyways.
Right.
So that's a big part of it. I can, and in the live stream, would this also allow us to better intersect with DR as well?
Yes, so the goal with this and the reason why it's not just the $31,058 is because until we get this equipment, it'll be difficult to estimate how much it's gonna take to implement it to DR and the middle school, because those seem to be the two schools that we use the most often. But the reason why we have proposed this quote this year in particular is because we've started to see errors with more frequency, where before we haven't seen errors. We just knew that it was coming time. Now we've started to see errors and latency issues. That usually comes in the form of you end a meeting and now your channel's down for 10, 15 minutes. And thankfully our systems engineer, if you want to call him that, our representative from Ockers, has been really good about getting a text at 9 o'clock at night, going in the back end, fixing whatever needs to be fixed and not charging the town. But I can't imagine that'll happen forever. So those first two line items are related specifically to the server, the 23,000 and the 3,000. That would give us access to another Cablecast license, which as of right now, it is just a Windows license that populates with Carousel. So we would have to manually go in and clear any sort of Windows updates, things of that nature, which we're not in the office as much as everyone else is. So it's difficult to do that. And it's kind of embarrassing when you come into the office and you see nobody can read the Carousel because it just says Windows Update. So the 30 terabyte storage upgrade, that'd be the $3,000 line item. We got better cameras with this new warrant article that we were just approved of last town meeting. Taking more space. The footage takes more space. And we figured we would upgrade the server and the storage space all at once, as opposed to continue to upgrade down the line. This server will also give us access to additional storage space that we had preemptively purchased through previous year's operating budgets, and will allow us to connect that. It seems like everybody's service or subscription is $1,200. Ours is no different. That annual stream delivery would give us the ability to take the video feed from your DR and your middle school and essentially live stream it to your YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Zoom.
Does that include channel 9 at all or no?
I don't believe it would.
Okay.
Because in order to
my
get
question.
to channel 9, from my understanding, you'd have to run some sort of fiber to connect back to the home server.
Oh.
And connects to Comcast.
Okay.
And then Epiphone Systems Nano Digital Recorder is essentially the little black box that makes it all happen. It's about a foot wide you take it with you, you can plug all of your, in our case, we have a computer-like system that would plug into it,
Mhm.
but you could feasibly plug your cameras into that as well. And then the $1,500 is just, servers are pretty big and it takes a lot of wiring and expertise to set them all up, especially for the first go around there. So that's the $1,500 installation costs.
One of the things we like about cable is that we have a dedicated revenue source to fund these investments through our PEG access.
Yes, so that's the good thing. I did the math and so we typically bring in a little over $30,000 a quarter. And between our budget and even the last couple of years, when we've had larger warrant articles, we've still been in the green by tens of thousands of dollars. And that we are seeing a decrease in subscribers, but it's not enough to justify any sort of worry because we have seen subscribers go down and back up again. And especially with proposed developments like your Forest Hills and stuff, we would expect to see an increase in subscribers. So it's even as much as people cut the cord, there will be individuals that add the cord.
Okay.
So.
Any questions? Do we want to jump right in?
Sounds great.
Yeah, we can go back and forth between mandatory and maintenance, in my opinion, based on the server.
I was thinking maintenance.
That makes sense, especially
Yeah, it
when
does make
we're
sense.
replacing obsolete equipment.
Maintenance? Yeah, I do think the priority ranking could be very high though, based on the server needs and also like linking into DR. So we have a better ability to bring that information to residents, but that's just me.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard residents ask about it.
Yeah.
Well, and that was another big thing too, is people are saying, why can't I live stream? Like the couple of big meetings we've had at the middle school, they said, we can't all fit in that one room. Why isn't it live stream?
Right.
And we've also received correspondence from Rehoboth, their cable access channel, and they have experience working in the school. So it'd be interesting to reach out to them further once we get information from our Comcast rep and how they were able to do it. See if we can go through a similar route.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
I think very high makes plenty of sense. And we've got plenty of elderly and disabled residents
Yep.
as well who have great difficulty physically getting in person.
Mhm.
I think the more we can bring it to them, I think the better.
Going on that point, with this new equipment and the introduction of AI into a lot of things, something that I've seen advertised, because we do get advertisements from the server company, is the idea of AI closed captioning and things of that nature for potential live streams.
Useful life,
I'd say
5 to 9. Huh? How many?
I'd say about 5 years.
Okay.
The server, as far as I know, was last upgraded in 2018.
Okay.
So that puts it at in that 5 to 9.
Correct on operating and maintenance costs.
Now, I understand that the person on the back end who is clearing our issues with the carousel, that they haven't been charging us. But based on our agreement, would they have the right to charge us if they chose to?
That is not something that I am aware to give you an answer on.
Gotcha, okay.
I would imagine so. What I will say is that the town has been very generous. In our equipment repairs and maintenance budget, they have kept it steady as far as I know. And for the most part, thankfully, we haven't had to touch it. And the other good thing about that is when we don't use any of the money, it goes back into the bank account for future use.
Have there been any expenses for server maintenance or anything like that this would alleviate? Would this keep our maintenance costs flat, or would this reduce maintenance costs based on our past experience?
Like I said, he hasn't been charging us, so I would imagine it would stay flat. So I don't think that you would see any difference, to be perfectly honest. What I will say is that the proposed server has a RAID configuration. Essentially, it means if a drive fails, a hard drive or something of that nature, the server will keep running until you're able to purchase a new drive. So we should have less downtime as far as if something were to fail.
Do we feel that would be cost unchanged?
Yeah.
This one's easier too because we have the dedicated funding, so.
Right.
And then a town, effects on town's revenue,
Unchanged.
unchanged.
Yeah. 29.
This would be a yes and a no respectively for the other two questions.
Yes to funding, and then no, it's public safety.
Yes.
So give us a 29.
Yep.
A motion to rank the 7 live stream at 29.
Second.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Dalton.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks, every-
Business spotlights, you know, we have to edit those and really make me less awful.
Yeah, we haven't got down yet.
So we have the highway superintendent. Thinks that maybe just in the order of the packet, so that would be
The security cameras?
security cameras, yes. Transfer station security cameras,
I'm sorry.
transfer station security cameras.
Yeah, slash highway garage for two separate units.
Yes.
Going together.
Okay.
I think they kind of go together because one's going to be monitoring the trash bag container.
Yep. Okay.
And that's also where we keep the POS systems at the highway garage also.
Okay.
How many goings of people, you know. But that, if I may, Mike, that can be reduced. We've done a little bit more homework on that.
Yeah.
We should be able to take care of both locations for around 1,500. You know, depending on the wire, but that is still a comfortable number of 1,500.
Okay.
Anticipating one more retired computer somewhere, because we don't need much of a computer to monitor the hard drive at the highway garage.
Okay.
So it's all it takes is somebody retiring. We don't really need memory on a computer, we just gotta be able to operate.
The remaining balance on the original warrant article for the POS system that we're reappropriating from. Do you know off the top of your head what that?
I think I want to say 14-ish.
So that needs to be looked at, especially the three of us. So the cameras, we don't believe can come out of that.
No, but we were gonna use money that's left over in that article to fund this. We were really thinking to just reappropriate funds.
To reappropriate, yeah.
Yes.
However, during budgeting, we wanted to hit that to maintain the cable bill.
Okay.
So we can make sure there's enough there for at least a calendar year, or we consider that in the budget line.
Because we just had wireless up there.
Oh,
Okay. That makes sense.
okay.
But if we're dropping the 4,000 to say 2,000,
Yeah, do half.
okay,
That's to see what we need. We can, the hard drives can take the capability of up to 8 cameras. They come with 4. That way there we can add the wireless if needed, you know, to solve problems in both locations. You wouldn't have to get a whole new system.
the computer software that you have now, the memory on, because like videos, just to do a job on memory, would we have an issue?
That's the hard drive. It comes with the hard
Oh,
drive.
got it, okay.
So that was X amount of days. And it's also a downloadable app that's free. That's why I get notified and I can see what's going on.
Okay.
Do we do the rank and prioritization for things under 5,000?
We don't actually, the $5,000 is a limit, so that makes it easier.
I have a question.
Is
Is
there gonna be, like,
a subscription going forward?
No, that's why we wanted to go with these hard drives.
and it's all just gonna be saved on the hard drive?
Yes, I.
Okay.
Rank source of prescriptions, yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
The app's supposed to be free. For me to see your phone. I'm not sure that would be, what's happening at the police station is totally different.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I would still have a recordable.
Yeah.
And signage would have to go up and all that stuff.
Yep.
And those seat comps will, I'm sure.
Okay.
Are they,
Battery operated?
No,
Hardwired in?
I'd write in and The power is through I believe the Cat 5 wire. They don't have to have separate 110. So it's
Okay,
just that one wire for the video itself.
okay, yeah, because I know the batteries.
Cheaper one, you need to provide the 110 power. These areas should be all set.
Okay.
It's just the one from the hard drive right to the cameras.
Okay.
So we're fortunate to have Mr. Cemento on board.
Yeah.
I already went to school for this stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, Captain program.
Jeff is a highway department employee.
Perfect, cool.
So I'm sorry for jumping right into the articles. That's probably what we should do, just the articles.
Yeah, yes. Okay, so, and because of the threshold, we don't even have to rank.
Cool.
So,
What happens to it? We aren't ranking it?
it'll just go to the board of selectmen to be on the warrant.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the bathroom.
Your bathroom modification? Highway department?
Yep, got it.
Yes, that number is, yeah, you can look at that number. We can do most of the work in-house. We have to have a plumber. So the plumber has to go and you have to stay with the cast iron pipes and whatnot for the upgrades, but we'll be doing most of the actual work. But you saw the puns in it?
Yes, yeah.
All right, so.
Like, you know, it likes the journey.
Okay, so what specifically is being modified? I know we've talked about it in the past. Is it to make a female restroom separate than a,
No,
Male?
we're not having just a female. We have just
just a
it's just
second?
one bathroom is not enough, especially if the crew is coming to the shop. Now, everyone's got a way to go before they get back to work. So you're talking almost a half an hour go by and get back to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just two gender neutral restrooms.
You'll let 2 unisex stalls, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And yes, we do have a female employee, but that's not what we're targeting.
Okay.
And the current floor and whatnot is not, even though we have a cleaning service because of linoleums.
Yeah, yeah, it's all split, yeah.
There's no way of getting it sterile, so.
Yeah.
So the floor needs a new floor, new stalls, paint, all that nice stuff.
Yeah.
I would, and keep in mind, this is tied in with the enclosed trailer because we had a request to reevaluate the facility needs, and that's on the back burner, which
Yeah.
I can't really take it off. I would suggest you guys take it off for the foreseeable future. This is.
I think-
that.
My personal opinion is like, yes, it costs money. Like if we're not keeping it on the radar.
Yeah.
Then, I mean,
The bathroom's a no-brainer, and if it's the enclosed trailer is kind of a no-brainer too. So that'll help with the storage needs to get it done, so. It's tied in with the need of a new facility, which is not gonna happen. Years, imagine.
okay. Very classification.
Maintenance.
It's maintenance. Do we agree?
Yeah.
That's more than improve efficiency, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Priority ranking.
High? Medium high?
I'm good with high.
Hi.
High.
At least high, yeah.
I'm saying high.
Definitely have a useful life of
20?
20 years if the building doesn't come down.
Right.
Come down around it?
As you know, the atmosphere outside's changed. You can't just relieve yourself outside. We got
Oh, yeah.
those right in the back of that.
We read that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do that.
No.
Shouldn't
We
have.
have to rely on all our local businesses,
Mhm.
hopefully we can take care of
Mm-hmm.
this appropriately, you know.
Yep.
It's tough to travel 8 miles and use a facility.
Effect on operating and maintenance costs,
It sounds like there's a significant amount of
waiting.
activity and waiting that's going to this. I'd say this would probably reduce the operating cost just in the term that you have people waiting around the shop to go to the bathroom because they can't.
Still getting paid.
They're not getting their work done either.
Right.
But like
I don't really,
Yeah.
Unchanged?
because if they're
Unchanged.
all
Yeah.
back at the depot, you know, that should really, like, that should, I feel like if everyone's back there, that's like their break time, so
Yeah.
that's not.
No, we don't, you have break at the job. It's usually two, the crews.
At whatever site they're at.
And a lot of times it's two together, except during COVID, we separated the trucks. But it's usually two or three in a crew, so they would have to stop the project, take care of that.
will they come back? I mean, this is getting into granular, but will they come back specifically to use the restroom?
Sometimes you have to, yes, because you can't just go outside no more.
No.
But if you can't use a nearby business, yes, you have to come to the shop.
The cost and change, we
Yeah,
good
I
with?
think so.
Can we make any money off this?
Put a toll.
Yeah.
Revenues unchanged,
Yeah.
20, 34.
Not with one of the cameras are going though, but
And then no and no.
No. The motion to rank the bathroom modification at 34.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Rita.
nineteen 1995 Ford backhoe is in pretty tough to find parts. When you look for New Holland, it's basically the same brand. We're making it. We're doing what we can to keep it going. It takes 3 excavating machines to do road work to the site, one excavating, one backfilling, you need another one at the end to load the trucks. So it makes sense. As you see more and more excavators out there, the excavator is a more versatile tool on the job on roadways. They take up less room, less lane closures, is the way they operate. And it's also saving about $100,000 versus a new backhoe about $230,000. So it's sounds tough because it looks like it's a new toy because it is different, but it's a workhorse. Give you a couple of samples because you can get some nice used ones out there, low hours. The price drops a lot. That's why I went with that, what I guess, for the 140.
Yeah.
So there's still some homework to be done once when this is approved. What I did show on the new or the used ones there is the thumb, the actual thumb, to pick up rocks and stuff like that. The 140 is good, a good number. We might have to add the thumb if we buy a machine that doesn't have one. I have a feeling we're gonna have, there'll be a machine out there with a thumb for the 140.
I'm sorry, what's the thumb?
I know, what does that look like? The grabber?
Okay, got it.
Makes it very versatile.
Okay, thank you.
Pick up your car when you come and bother us, we can pick it up.
This be maintenance?
Well, I have a question. Is this, able to be, do you need a separate license to drive an excavator?
We all have the.
You all?
Very good question, yes.
And you don't currently have an excavator?
So the hoisting license required, the 2A handles, I believe most of my guys have the 2A, there's some with just a 2B, which is the backhoe front end loader, the 2A is the excavator crawler.
Sorry.
When you lift the materials more than 3 feet off the ground, you're required to have the hoisting license,
The 2A.
2A or B.
Okay. But you specifically need a 2A to operate
And
this.
an actual excavator
Okay.
crawler, yes.
Okay.
Or bulldozer.
Thank you.
So this is actually a good segue. I know what you're pondering how to approach this. We really should have maybe someone from your committee meet with me to kind of go with a forecast with all my whole equipment. So you look at my vehicles.
Yep.
My trucks are still in older than 2010
I,
in equipment. So these, to push them off is gonna compound.
it's getting dangerous, yeah.
And
I,
for my department, doing this kind of review, approaching the annual town meeting doesn't give guys ample time to.
you know, and we need a full picture look.
Right, and then I was surprised to see nothing was considered even on the smaller dollar amount last fall, which is, this is fine, because we will still trying to get a good handle on the BP situation. I think we're heading in the right direction. So,
Depends on the day.
I was just adding that, my 2 cents to that, but
You know, I wholeheartedly get it.
backhoe is one of our equipments that need to be replaced, just because their parts are obsolete. Seat alone, we had to.
And this would replace the backhoe.
That's a good point. We could leave it at the transfer station, utilize it for the board.
Okay,
And not register it, as long as she's still insured, you might have to leave it registered.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
That offline.
okay. No, that's,
Running it down the road the more, even though we have the trailer and whatnot, is
mhm,
probably not something we should be considering. It's definitely gonna have to be trailered around town.
okay,
It's getting that bad, yes.
okay. Okay,
Yeah, staying at the transfer station's not bad, and
mhm,
also while somewhat operable, you'll probably get your higher return for a surplus sale,
okay.
selling as is.
But then what would we do at the transfer station? I had to move stuff.
So I store the 95 there now, because I have no other place to put
Yeah.
it. So the excavator or the existing backhoe would be there. One of the machines would definitely still be stored there.
Oh, okay, got it.
I have one
Okay.
side of a concrete wall at the garage for redundancy, so if we had a fire, I still got something to load the trucks in the winter on the other side of a concrete wall, and then I have the third at the transfer station.
In terms of the storage for like an excavator, because it's not a backhoe, do we have the room to put it somewhere enclosed?
Yes, it
Okay.
actually takes up less room than backhoe.
Oh, okay,
That's why they fit better on a construction site. They're
Okay.
more versatile.
sorry, okay. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, jumping into rankings. Maintenance?
Maintenance.
Priority ranking, very high. I mean, I'm seeing like if we have a machine that's basically falling apart, right?
Yeah, 95 is, I mean, if it doesn't become very high now, at what point does it? It's been almost what,
Yeah.
30 years now at this
Yeah.
point.
Okay, very high.
But they last long,
Right, yeah, it's got that going for it, for sure.
For 20.
20 years.
Costs?
Either unchanged, or would it reduce have we incurred maintenance costs? I know you said you had to weld the seat on. Have there been any other maintenance costs that we've incurred that we wouldn't incur?
Lateral lines and typical stuff. Steering pistons, you can't buy them. We utilize Tri-Power on Red Island. We had them create one.
Okay.
Yeah, you just can't buy the parts no more. And the steering piston should be a normal thing to replace. You can't even get it.
How reduce costs?
Yeah, I mean, if we have to buy custom-made parts, I guess that. And we're gonna charge for rides on this, right? For a revenue stream.
Could be a boring ride though. Those things don't move too fast.
That's true.
So unchanged.
Yeah.
It would be something that would go to touch a truck.
There we go.
Don't buy it. It would be there.
42?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no other revenue sources
Mm.
and not for this.
Propose ranking the new used excavator with a priority ranking of 42.
Favor?
Aye.
Two, I think the trailer.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, it's a trailer?
I alluded to the trailer, so we currently retrieve the equipment and we gotta go dip various spots in town. The space that equipment uses up, it would make sense, we could store other things there, if we kept everything in the trailer. And again, we're not building a new facility anyway, so this would be going in that direction. We all agree we're not doing a new facility, so a trailer is much cheaper. Even cheaper than that feasibility study. Just saying.
And if we put the landscaping equipment in the trailer, what would go in place in the structure where the landscape equipment is now?
So that place would become a vacuum, I'm sure, and I bet you they're gonna fight over it because it's that metal
Oh.
right there.
Parks and
They
Rec,
have storage needs too,
Parks and Rec?
but no,
Oh.
COA, they're thinking about a shed. Right now, they're utilizing a trailer that's not big enough. But we can still share the space with them. We'll probably move the tractor. We have 3 tractors that we store inside when we're not outside with them. The sun is probably the biggest problem, not just rain, freezing thaw. The sun is, we want to keep them out of the sun as much as
Yep,
possible.
oh, God, yeah.
So we have 3 utility tractors. The boom mower will not fit in there, so the other 2 tractors, the yellow one could fit in there. Get out of that $65,000 piece of equipment.
Everything at once. Any other questions? Moving into the scoring.
So I don't know what to check off in the purpose and expenditures because it,
Sorry, I do have a question. So the paperwork on the back, it says that the total is 11,600. Do you factor in more money? What's the additional factor for 15?
very good question. So we want to build shelves.
Shelving.
Things that hold, weed whackers, those other things that need that space in the garage and them. That'll help open up the shelving problems inside the house. But yes, to make sure it's out there. And safely, yes, because there'll be fuel storage in it also. Yes.
Ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a tricky wicket because we run out of space.
Would you consider this to be maintenance or improve efficiency?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going between the two.
yeah.
I'd say maintenance, but that's just me.
Maintenance makes sense to me.
We run the risk of things being damaged without being properly
Mhm.
stored as well.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Priority ranking. High or very high?
I'm good with either one.
Hi.
Yeah. hot.
High. Useful life trailers do last a long time.
20 or less than 20?
Then 20,
What's that, how long they last?
yeah.
The tires are probably replaced multiple times, but my trailer is 40 years old at home,
Yeah.
close trailer.
All right.
Reduce on operating costs.
It's unchanged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And revenue's unchanged as well, and then no.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so 34.
Motion to rank the enclosed trailer at 34.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Moving on to, is the next the dump truck? Nope. The good news is the drainage upgrade we ranked last year.
I'm wondering if that was the same one that's on here.
We ranked that, last year at a 42. So I upgraded the fiscal year submission. And that already has a
Old Somerset Ave.
very high ranking.
So the other good
The
news,
dollar amount's
bad news,
different.
we had two of the
Yeah,
basins collapse. So we just pulled the metal off and we just filled the holes in with 3.5-inch stone to eliminate the hazard.
Okay.
So now we have no basins in that area. Agreement with conservation. There's no conflict. The agent, there's no need to go to the conservation committee. There's an existing outflow. We're not working in the wetlands. We're just changing the pipe that's in the head wall. It's part of the drainage up there.
This is
So
critical need.
Yes, because you have ice this winter.
Yep, okay.
And that's why it went up to 15 from the 12,425.
Yes.
okay.
And yeah, Brenda's wheels are spinning. So this is the ponding water you see right after you take a left on Old Somerset Ave, right after Reese's. Right, well, with Eddie.
One street.
Yeah.
That area. So we need two basins there. You'll see 2 piles of 1.5-inch stone. This is filling the holes.
Mm.
So there's no more
That's
hazard.
like where that pool is. right there.
Yeah, I used to live right behind there.
So you and I were interacting with another resident. That existing basin to the left will still remain. I'll eliminate that manhole that connects it. Put a new structure to get the 3 together and run the trunk line down the road. Right to the outflow. Actually, I wasn't even thinking right near Brenda's house. So that's why I see those words.
Yeah, like and that also, like you mentioned outfall, that's a stormwater outfall as well.
Yes,
Okay.
which is not in the catalog, by the way. Yeah, you're shut up. It's gonna be.
Got it, okay.
The inventory, yes, that one's not in the inventory.
Okay.
And that's still be clear, that's an intermittent stream, so it would still be a water body.
Oh, yeah. I have noted from last year, it was gonna be some, that they were gonna try to use the operating budget.
So I almost got there, but now I have 7 other basins to repair, so
Okay,
I almost had enough to pull this off,
okay,
but I'll have to put that money elsewhere.
Okay.
okay.
So this warrant, I was hoping to tell you we didn't need it on warrant, but we should leave it on the warrant if it's a problem.
Oh, I don't,
And I would change the ranking a little higher because of the
I was trying to
ice
find
drop.
Yeah.
my original.
yeah. Okay.
Still sweeping, and that's when we find the problems.
We ranked it last year. We ranked it as 7, 10, 10, 10, and 5, and
10, 5 and 5. No change in the cost and the revenue.
Oh, we said it was gonna,
at 10, it would actually like reduce costs.
Oh, because of all the maintenance and cleaning out the basins as it is now.
So
really,
just
there's not much to
food
change.
for thought.
That's
Rubbing nickels together.
if the drainage basically is falling apart.
Yeah.
Is we could create a project for chapter 90 and not hit the water if you don't think it's appropriate, if we cannot fund it.
I think,
But I need a sense of direction to get this moving.
I think it's, I say like 6,500 or the other, right?
Either way, it's coming out of our pockets. It's
What was the last year's score? 42?
42, yeah.
That sounds sensible.
Oh, yeah,
With the layout, you said it was 7, 10,
yeah.
10, 5?
Yeah, I think it's imperative that we do it. It's just what bucket it comes out of. I think maybe once we figure out where we are operationally, we can make that determination, whether chapter 90 or have it as a warrant article, but definitely we need to plan on doing it now.
Okay.
That's just my thought, but,
Yeah, no, I agree.
okay.
I can remember you there.
I don't know he's there.
With very few industrially zoned areas in town. That's one of the very few. Yeah. I would definitely like to see us maintain that.
All right, so I think the last one. Highway, where am I, what I do in my organization here, the dump truck. I believe that's your last one, right? Doesn't it come through? The packet, no. It came through in the warrant. Oh, that didn't come through. I gotta take, I'll be right there. We start with the dump truck.
Which one were you just saying?
The line striping.
Oh.
That's what we took off the budget, replaced it with, the two computers, because it was just over the 5,000, we couldn't put it, my replacement equipment needs to come here.
Okay, so this is a dump truck.
Do you have a list of equipment that you have?
Yes, I shared that a little late Friday, but yes, you also have it, papers that was.
Oh, the one that was like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So it basically is what you saw the year before, the word core showed up in a few more places. Percent of the fleet is over 2010. Wise. Last year, we traded guardrail project for a truck to be entertained sooner than later. And I also identified last year, we should not be entertaining a one-time that is on too light of a truck, just simple going coal patching, the truck's overweight. When you add materials more than 1 ton when you're handling asphalt. So the new truck that was ordered last year is actually coming off a rail card next week. It'll be in Massachusetts, waiting for its body. This year, we need to consider going back to the larger truck to help raise the average year of the fleet. The four-season body seems to work very well. That's the last 2022 international dump that we bought. That's that spec truck is what we're spec package.
I'm sorry, we in the dump truck?
Yeah. So you ordered the 1 ton last year, it's coming soon.
It's not a one-time, we identified the 1 ton used by, it was like a F-550, it's actually.
Oh, it ended up
It's
changing.
just under CDL, we wanted to keep that every once in a while, so we can keep snow off the road.
Some flexibility.
CDL drives. So the one last year is just under a CDL. This one here, we go back to raising the average of the fleet, so, you know, we still at the 92 and 95 and 96 and 97. And I believe it's 2026 is the worst year we're facing budget-wise, correct?
Shaping up to be.
Right, so if we can, and then we get hit there for how many.
Then it's a challenge because we have to keep from the main street as well. It's just what part do we want it to come from? Okay.
Oh, yeah. So the additional 300 for Main Street's not,
We're not doing it separate.
It's already been ranked.
okay, so we're just continuing off of that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, was it identified for Main Street, or that was addition to with the chapter 90 that we were considering each year?
additional.
Same thing, because we got that big project going on.
Yeah, but last year we ranked the project.
Yep.
For to basically continue
Yeah.
funding it as we go.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's ranked at 727,000.
It's gonna
Oh,
3
no.
years.
That just, but I think that we put it in there for 3 years though. Like I can update the spreadsheet, but yeah, but basically right now, this becomes the main street. We're leveraging ARPA and chapter 90 so far. And about $900,000 that we've committed to it. No, $600,000 we've committed to it already. We have basically a total project commitment of $1.15 million for a estimated $2.5 million project. We actually, the board working with Superintendent Ferry last week, they approved an engineering contract that would allow us to begin getting everything ready for bid. And also to, at the same time doing that, come up with an independent cost estimate too, just so we have like an outside look at what we've estimated. So as we continue to set aside and obligate funding for that project, we know exactly what we're in for there.
So the dollar value for this proposal really should be 230,000 even. It's not gonna be more than 230.
230 even.
Yes. Me and the vendor had a little discussion, and he readdressed me full net for 230. This year, obviously, next year will be a different story.
And is that vendor, is that part of our group purchasing consortium, I assume?
No, that's the thing.
Okay, perfect.
Who is this vendor? Minuteman truck?
That's the
Tom,
one.
any option to lease that?
Yes. But I haven't explored that. There's always that option. They do lease in the air.
Okay.
This is the place just past the stadium.
Okay. Foxborough Stadium?
Yeah,
Just past Foxborough Stadium.
Okay.
On the left.
going on.
Okay.
So he asked a question about the leasing. When do we enter that and need that information? Because you would need that information quickly, right? Or it's after you assess all your articles and then you'll know where you stand.
Guys, I think if you could reach out to them, Tom,
Get that moving.
and ask them to, I'll provide some lease options. I'll lease to purchase options, how much it would be.
You already have, oh, so you want the option, you don't know how many years you're looking at.
Start at 3, go up to 5.
Yeah, 5 for the other ones.
Then we can make sure the warrant article as it's drafted has that option, so we could.
It also might be that company that did the sweeper too. Might even be the same company.
Because the sweepers dropped off now, which is great, so,
But in the long run, we end up paying more on a lease.
in terms of interest,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
kind of rub nickels together.
Right.
I know, there's no
In the
idea.
long run, it's gonna be harder to pay for it too.
True, yeah, if everything's drying up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the street sweeper, that was about the same amount then, right, with a debt service of about $50,000 a year.
Yeah, it was like 5615, a 5-year lease.
Was the sweeper a 5-year?
I think
I think
5,
so.
yeah.
So it came to 253,000 total.
With interest, it's probably about the same amount of this.
The interest rates might be higher now compared to 5 years ago,
True.
much higher.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Sorry, just saying. My job.
Ranking.
Sure. In maintenance. Priority ranking is high.
Aye.
Expected useful life. It sounds like we're getting 20 years plus out of the majority of the fleet, it looks like.
Only because,
Yeah,
only because.
a dump truck.
Hold on to the other dump trucks.
Just so you know that the 92 to 95.
Yeah.
And, oh, we got rid of the 97. Those were actually military vehicles we had acquired to help push the fleet forward. Two of them still got dump bodies on them. Probably not the most friendly ones to spend hours in the snow, plowing snow, but they served us well. They served the country well for many years too.
20 years.
Turn operating maintenance cost, Tom, the dump trucks we have, how much money are we dumping into them right now?
Those two lines, the equipment repair and the vehicle supplies, those are the ones we run red.
Yeah.
That's really an unknown number. The police officer, off-duty police officer usually funds that for the end of the fiscal.
But we're dumping money into the ones we have now,
Yes.
so reduce costs.
Just look that up for a second.
Unchanged, then no.
Yeah.
Equipment repairs and maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
So through the end of March, that's been spent 30,000. And then what's the other one that offsets it? Oh, vehicle supplies, 17,000.
Would that be 39?
39,
Yeah.
Supposed to rank the dump truck with plow at 39?
yeah.
Yep.
Although, is it second? Second to rank the dump truck and plow at 39, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Is right after all the backup to that truck.
Really? Okay, I'm sorry.
But it's probably mixed in with the backup to it.
Okay.
The line painting.
Ranking,
I will keep back up. We actually want to question the Trenton paint. The actual.
I didn't make it in the file.
huh?
What did you say, Paul?
I don't have it in mine. It wasn't in the file.
It's okay though, like if Tom's willing to provide an overview, would we be okay ranking it?
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Tom. Tom, I want to say this,
No, you-
okay,
know what I-
$1,000 cost,
Put it on the back.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm just making.
Yep.
We have a line heat machine acquired a few years back from, used to call standing line out of town. That type of machine works off air pressure in the tank. All the little tanks act differently. Type of tank alone, we cannot spray out of, plus there's some plumbing problems with it. It needs to be upgraded, so this would be an ALS. So we put the actual pump on it, draws out of that and sprays out.
okay,
So it's the industry that changed. We touched it a little bit on a different financial meeting. That's the biggest reason is the type of paints that are on the market now that we're allowed to use is why we need. This machine will will still farm out the double-sided line throughout the town. To save money in-house, we can do the stop lines, the crosswalks, and the parking lots. That's ins and outs of getting this machine. Other than that, we'll farm it all
How are we doing that now? We found that out.
out. Wasn't done last year, the stop lane crosswalks. The intention was for us to paint it, but we spent too long, I abandoned it. We took too long trying to make that old machine work last year.
Okay.
It's just not operable for this type of paint. Actually, the paint company took the paint back, we tried another paint, and it did not work with it.
And it costs 8,000.
Yeah, what's it actually say on his computer screen?
8,500.
Yeah.
8,500.
So we currently have a
Machine?
That's
The paint.
inoperable.
Use it,
Paints
right?
that we're allowed to use in the market.
So what are you gonna do with that machine?
It'll be surplus. Can't use it for anything else.
How long have you had that machine?
We got it used from a company that was in Taunton, Standard Line. It was actually one of our vendors, and when they retired, we bought it. It was probably 35 years old when we got it.
How long ago did you get it?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we've had it for about 10 to 12 years.
Oh.
So now it's 40+ years.
It's done its job.
Right?
I don't know if you wanted to see the decimal machine.
Oh.
Machine.
Okay.
So you need 545?
8545, yes. Is the actual number.
8,545 factory paint, thank you.
Okay. Priority classification.
That I wouldn't like to use. The excavator, no. Mike can use it.
Hey, like
All over here.
I sprayed soccer fields. I do a pretty good job.
You just can't come on my street. That stuff smells to high heaven. When they line the streets,
Oh,
Oh, I
the
never
paint,
noticed.
Yeah, that was a chlorinated rubber, yeah.
oh,
Yes. We're not allowed to use oil bases no more.
it was awful.
But it can dry less than 2 minutes if humidity's.
It wasn't, you're right, it wasn't long lasting, but when it was first done, it was like the middle of the night and I was like, had all my windows open.
Hmm.
What is that? Do I shut them? Do I open them? Do I make it stop?
Priority?
if we don't have stop lines,
Yeah,
We've done them in the past with 3-inch rollers too. That's putting the guys right in the traffic, and that takes a little longer to.
Mhm.
So you put out those barricades.
Sure. Yeah.
Back, we start
Yeah.
picking them up.
Yeah.
And people still drive through the cones.
I believe it. Would we consider this mandatory or maintenance?
I was thinking more maintenance.
Maintenance.
maintenance. Yeah, it's all, I mean, yeah, maintenance, priority ranking, can we do very high though,
Yeah.
as an offset?
20 years.
Mhm.
sounds like it, yeah.
It actually would reduce the cost, so we don't have to farm it out.
Yeah.
Right? Or have guys out there with 3-inch rollers and painting the road.
Revenues unchanged. 42. No grant money. Tom, just for a kick, I'm just asking, is this a chapter 90 eligible? It would be, right?
That's a good question. No, I don't believe so. If you're labeling it maintenance, they do not fund anything maintenance. They'll do road construction.
Right. Okay,
Good question.
but hold on a second though, but the spray ceiling is actually maintenance that we built at chapter 90.
No, that's restorative seal. We get creative with verbiage.
Okay,
Do restorative line striping?
okay. Would address a significant public safety concern, I'm just. Okay. does it rise to that, like, we never defined that threshold, but do we think it rises to that? Just in terms of roadway? I think what,
Yes, so.
I mean, we can farm it out, put it with the job with the double south lines, you're gonna pay,
premium.
and because of the uniqueness of the industry right now, they think they own you.
Yeah.
So I'd rather take this away from them.
Well, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying a public safety concern. If we don't do this and we have, arguably, we have a stop
Yeah.
lines.
I would say no, because there is an alternate way to do this without buying the machine. So that's where I would say no as a public safety concern, because there is another way for it to get
True,
done
True,
Oh, yeah, okay,
yeah.
without this machine.
okay. Oh, that makes sense. Right. Okay,
That'd be 42.
42,
Okay.
I like
a
that.
motion for 42.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is all. Tom, I think that's everything of yours, right?
Yes, but I want to get back to all my stuff.
Yep.
So I can't really do it in this type of setting. Capital outlay is fairly new to our town, thinking or not, and it's a very integral part of our planning. I think it would behoove to get together, maybe you can assign a member and we can hash out some stuff, maybe create a schedule of replacements and still remain fluid. Again, remember, I think you have there in your notes, the 10-foot mower is poor condition last year. We're just gonna add more 10 to it, stuff like that. We really gotta stay on top of that stuff.
So what I would say, I completely agree. The committee where the change in FinCom last year has been in a little bit of flux. I actually do think it would behoove us to, once we have, once we know where we're gonna be, Chairman Roach, with the FinCom, after town meeting, maybe we could have at that point, like an up, once we know who our FinCom member will be, I do actually think it could be helpful to have whoever the FinCom, one second, because also what we know is we also need, and we've never had a FinCom at-large representative as well. So once we get a more vibrant group together, I think having a subset of this group, I'm thinking 2 or 3 members, so we wouldn't trigger a quorum. Ask them to really do that. I can create that plan. Working with you, I think would be.
I'm thinking that information would be helpful in knowing what we're predicting 2026.
Yeah.
Meaning biannually might be more intuitive.
Yep.
To that approach instead of the once a year.
And I agree. I'm thinking out loud here, but the challenge is we have the capital needs, but we also know, based on the $300,000 a year, give or take, for Main Street, that is part of what we've been trying to obligate to begin, at least for Main Street, the pavement management plan recommendations. The challenge is we are just thankfully coming to grips with what our needs are, all relating to our roadway infrastructure. At the same time, we're coming to grips with what our needs are with the highway department capital. At the same time, we're coming to grips with what our needs are for all town capital. And trying to reconcile all this at once with revenue pictures drying up before our eyes is just a challenge of the day.
But we can do it. We're trained professionals. We can do it together.
I love your optimism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say a question?
Yes.
This, I had gotten emails from the historical commission.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure if it made it your way.
Yeah, so what the question of the historical was I think 2 years ago now, we ranked the segregated school to CPC. And I talked to historical, a few months ago at the beginning of the process, and I said, look, the revenue for a project like that needs to come from CPC.
I was wondering if those two are related. Okay.
So I don't think there's anything on from CPC for that. I could be wrong. I looked very,
There was only one, I think.
there's a
It
historical
was really
survey.
small dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, look, and I would say we rank it. Like, we've identified there being a non-free cash funding source. And if that project would ever be pursued, it would have to come from CPC and not from the available free cash.
Is it on that list?
Yes.
Oh. I see it right there, line 31.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when we previously ranked it.
That was right at the beginning of capital outlay. That might have been pre-you, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
So we do-
Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter at this point because it would be CPC. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that box is empty.
Yeah, I can go back and look at the ranking, but I'm almost positive we ranked it, but I can double check. That doesn't have it there either. but
That's
I-
fine.
I'll go back and check it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I
Okay.
have it. Okay, school, the school department requested 32,000, well, originally
It's 40 with the land stuff.
40,
Okay.
45-ish, I think originally.
Say 40, but I don't remember the exact number.
Oh, yeah, I got it. One
It
second.
was 90 and then it was 45 each.
Okay.
So now they've lowered it.
32.5 is what I see.
Oh.
Yep.
Um, Basically, what I understand from the superintendent is, they're working diligently to make sure the phone systems in the school department are E911 compatible,
They're not presently.
which is, a priority.
I could see
Yep.
how that might be an issue.
There is a question whether we do have any E911 compatibility at all at like a DMS, but according to Superintendent Rooney, they really won't be able to discern that fully
So they look into it. Yep.
until they're in there.
It's a more modern system than DES, but
Now, Mike, it looks like the description is a little bit cut off on
Yeah.
the side.
Mhm.
If you've been talking to Superintendent Rooney, would it be possible to just kind of give us a rundown?
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that does not fit in the boxes. Like, I do think we could have an ability to do this through APA.
Hmm.
The question is how technically we're already a sub-recipient to the county and how they would want us to, whether it be a sub-recipient to a sub-recipient or because we own the building itself. Like whether, as long as we just work with the school district. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's tricky. I don't want to put in for an opera project that we don't have full control over either.
Yeah, but I want to reach out to Jane to see how we might be, just because it takes the pressure off of our available free cash.
Yeah.
Should we rank it in the meantime while simultaneously exploring our fund?
Yep.
I can't tell you what this said either. I have an email for Superintendent Rooney, but it was much more brief than this. The E911 was important, and I know oftentimes get an email that phones aren't working at some of the schools at certain times.
Right. So even if cut off, I can kind of see how 911 at the school makes
Yeah.
sense on its own
Yeah.
merits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would rank it as mandatory.
Yeah.
I agree.
How long has it not been working?
Yeah. Yeah.
Priority ranking, I mean,
Very high.
as the father of a fourth grader, I'm gonna go with very high.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know,
No, it's
Technology.
10 to 19.
10 to 19.
I mean, I'm saying we have a 1999 building there right now with the same phone system.
Yeah, I guess.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay.
I-
I'll put it in the middle. I don't know how long they last now, but
I mean, this is liability. Just saying.
Yeah, but that's not
Um,
monetarily.
To our knowledge, have we incurred any maintenance costs or any operating costs around
That
this?
all goes through the school district. We don't see any of that, so I would just say unchanged.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Revenue's unchanged.
So that brings it to a 35. It does address a significant public safety concern, and then we've kind of got an asterisk on the other one
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Oh, the funding source, yeah.
Motion to, is there a motion to approve 35?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay. Yes.
One question, kind of incidental, I suppose it doesn't really matter that much because it's cost might be a capital at that point, I assume. But it says the cost at that time after the 3 years will be 5,000 per year. Do we know if it's 5,000 total or 5,000 per town?
Oh, no.
Just curious.
I'm guessing for town,
Yeah, but
If
like.
you
in
put it
our
on ours,
email conversations,
you know what I mean?
Right,
He's got a separate
right.
Rehoboth one and he's got a separate,
Right, that's what I was thinking, but here where it says the quoted, on the system, it says the quoted cost is approximately 65,000 or 32.5 per town.
right?
It doesn't say that on,
At 1.1.
it doesn't matter because it goes
Yeah.
through operating anyway. I was just curious.
Yeah, just go through operating.
Right,
so-
yeah, it wouldn't really matter, but I was wondering.
Yeah, the school district would just work that into the operating.
Yes.
budget, Whatever that
Yeah.
cost
Right.
is.
Yeah,
It'll get split, because I think at that point it'll just be.
That makes sense. I was just wondering. We're going into kindergarten next year, so I want to have it either way.
No, it's,
Well, yeah, they still haven't asked for money for, weren't they up doing the door securities?
Yeah, that was what, 125, something like that last year.
like, yeah, I think just, I was talking to SRO Hathaway a few weeks ago. He said they've just, the school department convened a meeting on it. Cool. So. Right. I think, so, you know, one of the things, I mean, obviously, like our funding availability, I mean, our ability to fund anything we rank now is really, it depends on how the operating budget's closed. And then from there, it's, well, have to just really be creative, Chairman Roach.
Creative, yeah.
It's, I mean, I can already like see, just practically speaking, a few of these are really high priorities, but I think we're gonna have to punt them to special anyways.
Or out of the stabilization fund. Stabilization fund. How urgent are they?
Yeah, can that bring, thank you for bringing that up, because so right now our balancing capital stabilization is right over 1.1, no, right over $1.5 million. We have, and what we heard at the special town meeting is that residents also hopefully would, because we had we always, for the last 6 years, had the goal to fund the debt service for the police station before it hit the recap. And so then we tried to do it, try to wean ourselves off that a little bit, and to do it not to that full extent, and that didn't go well at town meeting, as we know. So our residents though, but they have very diligently pointed out that we do have a DEF feasibility study question that we need to fund as well. Feasibility studies costs approximately $2 million. And so,
We need that.
yeah, that whole $1.5 million right now anyways. Like just like in my head to do anything else with that capital stabilization until we know the answer to that question.
Right. We know our ability to replenish it will be non-existent in the time before we would need it because the MSBA has a eligibility window.
70 days.
Next May, something like that.
I
270.
think before that,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Only
June,
270 days.
So, yeah, like, I mean, just in terms of how I think of capital stabilization, I really like setting that $1.5 million aside. We do already have $150,000 appropriated for a warrant article for a feasibility study, which we'll have to carry over again.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's already in.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're up to 1.65 million.
But then, yeah, so in just a handful of months, really, we'll be, less than a year, we'll be in the position where we'll know what's going on.
Mhm.
As far as the feasibility study goes, we'll kind of hit that, paint or get off the ladder moment.
Within the next 10 months, you're gonna have to answer that question. Yes, so yeah, we have a good stabilization balance of almost 2 million. But we also know where we are operationally, and which isn't good. And the challenge that I want to try to prevent is using one-time revenue to balance, to continually balance.
Yeah.
Day to day.
We're really hitting a wall very quickly.
So. Same discussions we have at school committee.
So, I mean, we don't have any growth. We don't have any local receipt revenues holding anything together.
Debt exclusions. It's gonna come.
Yes. So
Discussed.
has been talked, there's thankfully been more talk about a debt exclusion. The Board of Selectmen is looking at November, the November general election right now for that. But that only solves a BP issue. It does.
Right. The town will need one at some point. It's a matter of, do we do it before we hit the cliff or afterwards?
But if we have a debt exclusion right now, just based on what our BP debt number is right now, if we have a debt exclusion right now, or if we had one right now, our $200,000 deficit becomes zero. So that's what I mean. That's great for BP, but it does not in any way, shape, or form address wider sustainability whatsoever. And I mean, based on where we know we are, where the state is with Chapter 70 right now, we have to practically anticipate that we're going to face the same type of increased assessment going into 26 that we're facing in 25. And that far eclipses our available revenues.
And we can't do debt exclusion for like another school assessment.
So therein comes the huge sustainability issue.
Would the future maybe hold a 2.5 override that's somewhere?
I can't touch that with a 10-foot pole right now.
They don't even want
It
to
should
vote
be
debt
in the
exclusion.
Solution to the problem, but.
Yeah, no, I'd rather ask and get a no than not ask, because at the very least, we present the option. If people
Our
hate
due
it, then they hate it.
diligence, that's right. That's right.
Right, not endorsing it, just saying.
Right.
Right, but there are other ways we propose to help balance in a more sustainable way in FY 25, and that, and those ideas haven't been well received. So. That being said, any other business?
Motion to adjourn?
We want to schedule our next meeting?
I think we're too soon right now to do that. Like if we could wait till after I get a new FinCom And then hopefully by the close of the fiscal year, we can do that. We can reorganize. And then like I do think the point that Tom had also brought up is very much needed. So.
Agreed. In that case, can I second Serena's motion to adjourn?
A motion made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Bye, guys.